Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I'm in the town of Bluff, Utah, in the southeast section of the state. And they've got one very interesting place here that I'm going to show you. It's called the Bluff Fort. And the price is right, so let's go in. This is the story of the people who came here. This fort was built for protection from Indians and various criminals who had come through. But the word fort, kind of loosely named, it wasn't really much protection other than there was just a lot of people who built these buildings to live together to fight against any invaders. Well, let's check out the meeting house. Well, it's definitely set up like a meeting house with all these benches. And, of course, in the old days, a big screen TV. Didn't know they had electricity in those days even. That's an organ. There's the TV. And there's the piano. And just in case one piano is not enough, there's two. They got a stove for heating, and believe it or not, there is an air conditioner right under that table coming from the outside here.
Trading post sprouted up. Emerson started his trading post near San Juan Hill. Often customers would bring items for pawn. An Indian named One Eye had brought in a gun to use for trade at the trading post. A few days later he returned bringing a broken gun, hoping to exchange that one for the working gun and maintain the same amount of credit or pawn. Amasa explained that that was not fair and that he couldn't make the exchange. One Eye and his renegade friend became agitated. Amasa invited the two to a meal which his wife had prepared. After a nice lunch, they returned to the trading post and continued their dialogue.
Another family cabin.
When Thales Haskell was a boy, he never imagined he would one day be called on a mission to live among Native American tribes in the West in order to learn their language, their culture, and their ways for the purpose of improving relations between Indians and the pioneer settlers. In 1855, Thales married Hannah Marie Woodbury, and they moved to a small settlement in southern Utah.
And here is the Hobbs cabin.
Too had called to the San Juan Mission. Sisters and their families, who were also a part of the San Juan Mission call: Elizabeth and her husband Henry, and Ellen Agnes and her husband Amos Hiram Fielding. My family lived in Parowan. I was still single when I went on the expedition. During the next few months, I was called to be a scout on all four of the exploring parties.
These audio recordings go on for a long time. I'm only listening to a few segments in the beginning, just long enough to view the inside of each cabin. And this one for the Decker family. Let's see what it says.
Life in Bluff involved joy and sorrow. Some of the most joyous were the births, and death brought some of the saddest. 3 Decker brothers, Cornelius, James, and Nathaniel, came with their wives. James' wife, Anna, gave birth to the first baby born on the expedition, Lenora Deseret. Emma, Cornelius's wife, gave birth to the first baby born in Bluff.
And here's one more.
Hanson Bayless. While serving one term as sheriff of San Juan County, 2 outlaw cowboys were seen in the county. Hanson and his deputies rounded up the 2 cowboys from Utah, over 100 miles away.
And here's where the Waltons live, believe it or not. In this little cabin.
All of a sudden he heard
were not solely interested in conquering the land. They placed great importance on educating their hearts and their minds. The glory of God is intelligence, they believed. They had often been admonished to seek learning out of the best books by study.
And here is a very, very early RV, a travel trailer, pulled by horses. And they got a canopy out, which kind of converts to a truck wagon. Similar function to some RVs today.
By Albert R. Lyman. When in 1882, Frederick and Mary Jones accepted a mission call to the recently organized San Juan Mission, they left their small farm in Cedar City and joined by covered wagon to the little settlement named Bluff in the wilds alongside the San Juan River.
We have a lot of wagons out here. There's another covered wagon. And this cabin has a saddle. Just a few items in here. Bed. Got a baby stroller. Fireplace. They probably set up cots or something in the middle of the room here.
The death of N.C. Bayless Butt, from the journal of her daughter, Lenora Butt Jones. October 10, 1897 was a windy, cold day. While playing with the children and popping corn for us, Mother was stricken with a coughing spell. By night she was chilly. We built a fire in the fireplace. By bedtime she was worse and retired without eating.
And here's a list of the families that lived here. Quite a few of them. And if you've been through Utah, you probably have heard about the Hole in the Rock. And this statue is of John Taylor. I don't think this wagon is going to go very fast with that horse. You've also got cows, sheep, I guess it is, and whatever that is. Got a nice grassy area here with these animal sculptures. Now this little cabin is left unidentified. And it does look like it has a little bit of a leak. Well, an irrigation for this little garden. And this little creek under that bridge is coming from this mill. The water that's turning that wheel. And apparently this is not drinking water. Now this little waterfall is not flowing at all. So I wonder where the water's going. All recycled, I assume. Another one here. That's water coming down from the wheel right there. Across this bridge. You can get a good close-up look at this. Certainly nothing natural, but that's coming off of the wheel. This teepee, I assume, is for visiting friendly Indians. Let's take a look inside. They probably did some cooking in here with the fire there, and the smoke from the fire going up to the top. I'd say it's about 12 foot wide on the floor here. Well, I think when it rained they close these flaps. And here's a different type of Indian homestead. She has a wooden door. So let's see in here what we have. is some things, surprisingly, a lot of pictures. And that is about it. Besides the stove, this is a metal barrel. Now this is more like my style of cabin. With an air conditioner running. It's a sewing center. Wonder if it's open. Well, you have to know the secret code. I'd actually like to go in there for a few minutes. This wagon with some good sturdy stairs on both sides. And here's another cabin. Up to my style. With a water fountain. Well, here's the snack bar with some interesting drinks like strawberry rhubarb. And I think I could use an ice cream about now. And this is a rare item. A pineapple soft serve. How about that? The town of Bluff has a population of about 250 people. Here is their old meeting house. Hey, it's made of brick.
The Relief Society, the oldest women's organization in the world, was organized in Nauvoo, Illinois, under the direction of the prophet Joseph Smith, following the desire of the sisters to bring comfort and physical relief to the poor and to educate and strengthen the sisters spiritually and morally. This organization, which is by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, directs the women's efforts. The women of Bluff joined together weekly in a Relief Society building and with kindness and love watched over and cared for each other.
Well folks, that's about it for the buildings. Now let's go in and look at their museum. This is the upstairs of the visitor center. And it is a big, mostly empty room. This is like a pulpit, so they may have pulled the benches here in the middle at some point. This is Erastus Snow. And here is a weave. That's how they make rugs. Just getting started here. There's one they made. Got some things on display here. Some kind of important book, I guess. Oh, look at these eggs. Oh, and that's going up to a third floor. This is a big building. Pictures. Well, it's really not much of a museum. And they have this room downstairs with a really nicely stocked, I don't know if you call this a Conestoga wagon maybe. There's a lady with no head. The headless lady. And a lot of tools and things over here. Oh, this is nice. And this room has some pews. Seems like it'd be set up as a church. There's an organ. But instead of a pulpit, they had some wood and dirt. Interesting. This picture shows how they brought wagons down this little sliver of a hole, going down a canyon, and then they had to cross the canyon and then come back up the other side. That was horrendous, I heard. Well, there's that I showed you in the beginning. And this is their gift shop. A lot of things here. They even have branding iron with these letters for your steaks, not your kids. This is set up like a storefront. There's the checkout for the gift shop. And they do have quite a large selection of things here. That's the visitor center entrance, 3-story building. And right across the way here is some nice views of the canyon side. And this is almost a balanced rock. Well, this must be the most exciting thing in Bluff. So stop by here sometime. Good day, folks.